Just want to make this quick video, show you guys that I am alive. The car did indeed come, and the full in-depth video will come very, very soon, since I'm very soon.
Many months later.
Yeah, I have a lot of explaining to do. So I go to school along with work, and one thing led to another, and I just didn't have the time to sit down and make this video. But I did have a lot of things done to the car to prep it for winter. I am going to drive it in the winter. And not always, though. I do have, a car at reliable transportation that's instead of the GR86, because our Michigan winters can get very brutal from time to time. However, with that being said, the GR86 is a very capable platform for driving in the winter. It's been proven, and I have a lot of friends, car journalist friends, who are in the area, who also drive their car, their BRZ or GR86 in the winter. Shout out to you, Chris, from the Topher. With that being said, I do not want to drive it every single day in the winter. It will be fun, but sometimes I just want to drive and just not worry about like this or that. But I did winter prep it. I plan on driving it in the winter sometimes. And this is the setup. This is what it looks like. All right, so this is the winter tire setup. These are Michelin X-Ice XI3s, and obviously, as you can see, it's the previous gen BRZ wheels. I think it actually looks pretty good. These are 17s compared to the 18s that were originally on the car, so that helps. The extra sidewall help. It goes a long way in winter driving. But this is the setup. So along with all that, I also got some XPEL put on the car. XPEL is this paint protection film that's supposed to last you like 10 years. And it comes with a 10-year warranty, so I'm very happy about that. And basically I put it in the high impact areas. I put it in the full front end, the hood, the fenders, the bumper, the front bumper. I also have it on the headlights and the side mirrors, and also on the rocker panel. And now what's special about this is that it's not just specifically the rocker panel. It extends all the way to the rear end, the rear bumper, the side rear bumper of the car. So that's really good. Furthermore, I also got the car ceramic coated, and now the car gets less dirty as a result. And when it rains, you can see how hydrophobic the surface is. So the last two things I want to touch upon is the questions that people keep asking me. First of all, they keep asking me if I've had any RTV issues, which I'll touch on that in a second. And the other thing that they keep asking me is, how did I get my car? How did I order it? What was the process like? I'll start with that first. So I wanted to get one for a very long time. I originally wanted to get the previous gen, but the market was insane on them. And it just made more sense to go for the new gen because it's about the same price as a new gen, so might as well just get a new gen. I waited until I can put a deposit on it, and that was around December. And I called around to many dealerships in the area. Most places were charging markup, or if they weren't charging markup, they would say, oh, we're not charging markup, but we need you to pay these $3,000 in additional fees or whatever. And me personally, I was not having that. I'm not going to support that business practice, and I just refused to pay markup, even if I have the money for it, which I did. Luckily, a friend who used to be a Toyota engineer recommended this dealership for me called Wolverine Toyota. They recently got bought out, so now they're Germain Toyota of Dundee. But Wolverine Toyota at the time in Dundee, Michigan. And I went in there, I gave them my deposit. They even had it in writing and signed that, it will be MSRP only, no shenanigans, which I really appreciated that. And also the deposit was refundable for whatever reason if I need to back out. So I also appreciated that. And that from there, it was just a waiting game. It technically wasn't an order. You can't order any Toyota per se. It's basically a luck of a draw situation. Whatever they get in the dealership, if it aligns with what you wanted, then you'll get it. If you don't want it, then they'll pass it down to someone else, whoever was in line. I was number one in line. Forgot to mention that as well. When I put my deposit in, I was the first in line at that dealership. Originally, I wanted a red Toyota GR86. I wanted the track bred one, or the Halo White. I also liked Neptune, but I waited for a very long time. Now, if you remember, I put my deposit back in December of 2021, and they kept getting cars, but they were either base model or automatic or in the wrong color. And I just got fed up. And then finally, their first manual premium came in August. That's how insane it was to get your hands on one of these. I'm so happy with the color. I'm happy with the decision. And especially seeing it in person, especially when that sunlight hits it, that color just transforms. It's the most unique color, I feel like, out of all the colors, just because it constantly changes depending the time of day, depending if it's overcast. Sometimes the color is purple. So it's a really unique color. It's a very gorgeous color. But yeah, as far as I know, that's the process to get one, and it still is the process to get one. It's unfortunate, especially since a lot of these places are still marking them up. But it is what it is. You know, these MSRP places are, you can find them. You know, if you just search hard enough, you can find them. Sometimes you have to be on a wait list, especially if you're this far into it. But it is what it is, unfortunately. And now, lastly, onto the topic of RTV. So if you don't know what RTV is, it's essentially this silicone that is used to gasket up certain components of the car. So instead of a traditional gasket, they use this RTV silicone. And the reason why they use RTV silicone in these modern Boxer engines is because in the past, these old Subaru Boxer engines, when they used traditional gaskets, it would lead to gasket failure, which is certainly bad. But unfortunately, after fixing one problem, it led to another. And the problem is that these cars are being, some of these cars, I should say, not all of them, have excess RTV put into them. And what happens is the RTV that's gasketing up around the oil pan, the excess RTV in some of these cars is getting into the oil pan, and the oil pickup tube is taking in this RTV and clogging basically causing oil starvation, which is very, very bad. There already has been quite a few cases regards to this. The biggest one that was an eye opener was this guy who took his car to a autocross event, and oil starvation, and he needs a new engine. And then when he went to the Toyota dealership, and they did find that excess RTV got into the oil pickup tube, causing oil starvation, they denied his claim because basically there was a picture of him drifting at the track. And essentially, this blew up, and Toyota corporate got involved, and they said, we'll fix your engine. And they said, if you take your car, they addressed it to everybody, if you take your car to a NASA sanctioned event, which you get NASA track membership with the purchase of your GR86, and something happens, they'll cover it with the warranty. Now, with that being said, many of you guys are wondering if I found any RTV in my GR86. And thankfully, I'm happy to report that I have not. I did do a break-in oil change at 1,000 miles. And some people have been reporting after just doing a simple oil change that they'll find bits and pieces of RTV in their old oil. And luckily, I did not find any RTV bits in my oil. Obviously, I'm still driving the car around like 4,200 miles. And I'm going to do another oil change at 5,000 miles. And from there, I'll update you if I find even more RTV, because as you know, the more you drive your car, the more likely that excess RTV will get into the oil pan. So I definitely am not going to remove the oil pan and check the oil pickup tube itself, just because I don't want to avoid the warranty if I do it myself. And I have a warranty, so if something does really happen to the car, yes, it sucks, but I have a warranty. But luckily, from what I've seen, just by doing that oil change, I have not seen any RTV. Like I said, I'm getting close to that mark where I need to do another oil change, and I'll certainly update you guys if I see any changes. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in for this long overdue video. Luckily, now that I have a recording setup that makes things a bit easier when making videos, I'll definitely be making more videos in the near future. I hope this video answered everybody's questions. And if you guys have any more questions, please leave a comment down below, and I'll certainly get to it either by replying to you, or I'll address it in a future video. Thank you very much, and until next time.